The community in the parish of Templetown in the Hook Peninsula have for the past 36 years produced an annual publication which records and archives people and events in this coastal community. We went along to the parish to find out about the success of this magazine, which is known locally as the Hook Book. On the Hook magazine is an annual publication which documents the life and times of the people on the Hook Peninsula in County Wexford. Liam Ryan is the editor.
It came from an idea that I think Tom Neville down the village had a pub, but he had bought a copy of the Kilmore Journal. Tom, thought that this would be a great idea to have something like this in the parish of Templetown. And I think the curate at the time and his secretary, plus a couple of other local historians, would have kind of just got something together. And I think they kind of more or less felt that was it, job done. And then next year there was another one, and then it kind of gradually took on a life of its own. I worked with Patricia Silkstone, who was the editor, and I was on the board of management with her, and I just happened to say to her one day that I was handy enough at taking photos, and I had a new digital camera, that if she needed me to take a few photos for her, and sure, she was absolutely delighted with that. So I suppose I got the job of going into Powell School to take the school photographs of all the school children, and first communions, confirmations, like big events in the parish. But then the parish was kind of changing in a way that there was people moving in, there was more people living here, there was more things going on, there was more events, and I just used to turn up and get maybe 8 or 10 pictures, say, at the field day. At the same time, I suppose, the internet came into being, and we could actually get access to newspaper archives, things that we wouldn't have been able to get to before.
The magazine, which has run for 36 years, is published by a committee of local people, each contributing in a different way.
The committee, is everything, and everyone brings something different to a committee, and everyone thinks differently. So, it's good to have other voices.
Eileen Cloney, whose father was a local historian, is now herself part of the committee.
I got involved 2 years after the foundation. I designed the cover of the 1988 issue, and my father asked me to do it. Before the magazine ever started, he would have had this mine of history and knowledge.
Eileen is following in her father's footsteps with a keen interest in history of the area.
I love following up old families and family trees, and the Loftuses, the Coakleys, and then just people of the area. I enjoy that part of it too.
Covering stories for the magazine has sometimes led to uncovering pieces of history.
We always did know there was a church out in Templetown that was completely overgrown, but we knew about it, and we didn't do any, it never entered our head to do anything about it. But Sean Waters asked me one day, would I just go out and take a photograph of it the way it was, because he said he was thinking of clearing it off. And of course, I went out, did it, and thought no more about it. And then he rang me and said, you need to come back out to take some more. And sure, when I went out, he had several sycamore trees sawn down. So between tip and weight, he managed to uncover a church, and it was lovely then to put that series of photographs into the Hook Book.
Sean Waters, who's 85 and has featured in the magazine many times throughout the years, knew the history of the lost church and set out with determination to uncover it.
That's happened there with the blue altogether. We used to be talking about it over in the pub over the road there, so I decided to do something about it. I had to chainsaw and cut out the trees out of it and take away all the branches and got some help. Not an awful lot, but got some.
People passed it by and a lot of people didn't know it was here. Even people from the locality, they said, we did not know it was here. It was all trees and bushes, and there was trees growing inside, so we didn't even know what size the church was. We had no idea.
Even intrepid reporters on the magazine can get roped in to do a bit of manual labour every now and then.
He said to me one day, I wonder what should be done with the grounds. I suppose a bit of grass. Well, I said, Sean, if grass goes in it, who's going to mow it? I said, you'll be bringing a lawnmower down here out of the boot of the car. And I said, that's not really on. What about wildflowers? So that's where the idea of the wildflowers came in. So I sowed the flowers last May.
Built in 1794, St Mary's Church is now on display for all of the community and for future generations. The magazine features many of the projects carried out by the local development group.
Well, Feather Community Development Association was initially set up in 2006, and then under the impetus of Wexford County Council we regenerated ourselves in 2018. We carried out a community survey, and based on the results of that we carry out projects around the community to try and help improve the community both for visitors and for locals. On the Hook is just such a stalwart of the community, and it's the book of record that we have for the last 36 years. So it's, you know, it documents everything, history, present, and you know, our future generations can look back and appreciate everything that happened in the community. You know, the excitement when we post on our Facebook page that the magazine is out, there's nearly a stampede down to Dillon's Londis to try and pick it up, and it gets posted all over the world. So people who unfortunately couldn't come home for the last few years, it was really important for them to get it and to see what's been going on. Hi Breed, how are you?
Where are we going with this, Sinead?
It's going to Australia, please, Breed.
Liam's photos have featured on the national stage as well as in the magazine.
Well, last October we got word that there was a ship in trouble off the Hoop, and so I took off straight away. And when I came out, I could see, you know, the lifeboats were in action, and there was 3 lifeboats here: the Kilmore Quay, Dunmore East, and Rosslare. And I got some lovely shots from here, but I knew that I needed to get up the tower to get, you know, a better shot. So being a local and being, you know, with the On the Hoop magazine, it opens doors for us everywhere. And we went up and we got some cracking shots of the 3 lifeboats in action around the ship, and that was lovely because not only did we put it on the cover and back cover of the magazine, but you know, the papers bought it as well. And like here we are hearing that the crews and the coxes of the boat are getting bronze medals for bravery, and our little magazine is up there on, you know, on the shelves, you know, national story, and it all means, you know, it's good for us. It gives us a nice little shot in the arm to say we're up there competing with the best of them.
So, what about the future of the magazine?
We have 2 new lads now who are anxious to get going, you know, and to put their stamp on it, because I know there has only ever been 2 editors of the parish magazine in the 36 years. It's not a job that you just take for a few years, it just seems to take over your life. And so that's, I would be happy, you know, to stick with it until we get to the 40 anyway. That would be my cut-off point. I think then it's time for fresh thinking perhaps to come in. So
I love the magazine. It's in the blood, it's in my father's blood, and long may it continue.
yeah, that should do, John, thanks. I'll keep going, I have to head, so you'll see it in next year's Hoop magazine. All right, thank you.
There are many similar publications produced around the country which chronicle stories and images from our communities, and they really do deserve our support. Well done to all involved, and of course keep an eye out for the next Hook book. And that brings us to the end of this evening's Nationwide. Thanks indeed for watching. From all of us on the team, bye-bye.